Good evening, racing fans. Welcome into the Odds Couple show here at Turfway Park. I'm track announcer Jimmy McNerney alongside ace handicapper Dan Cronin. How's it going?
It's been better today.
Well, and it can get better. We got a good card here.
We have 4 out of 5 and both pick 5s early, but that's all right. I'm going to get all 5 of them tonight.
Hey, 4 out of 5 in baseball, you're in the Hall of Fame. So.
I try to tell my guys that if we pick 3 out of 10 winners, that's good.
30% is really good. Really
I'll take that.
And we've been higher than that, you and I, in our top picks here this meeting. And for what we've given out, if the race fans have followed us, I think they have to be pretty happy with our insight.
Yeah, several pick 5s here lately, and I think we got at least one single in the early pick 5 and one in the late pick 4, I think. I'm curious to see if you like the same two horses.
I'm interested to see, too, because I'm spreading a little bit tonight. I do like a couple horses, though. I'm going to play some straight wagers on. But we'll get into that. 8 races on the card. The snow's starting to fly here in Florence, Kentucky. Temperature somewhere in the mid to upper 20 degrees. 8 races on this card, and race 1 starts a 50-cent pick 5. How deep you going here in the pick 5?
I'm just taking the 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't think you need anything else here. I mean, I tried to make a case for the 7 and the 9, but I just couldn't. I just kept looking at it, and I just think either the 3 is going to win on class, the 2 is going to win on the stretch out going wire to wire, or maybe the 1 sitting second or third trying to pounce on them. I just don't see anything else in here. Do you?
I didn't either. I'm like you. I try to make a case for some horses, maybe get some another price plays to add in here. But I think if you use those 3, you're safe to get through here. The 3 Abby's Destiny. Some people might want to knock because it's 11-time maiden, but been facing much better than anybody in here, and is 5 times on the board. I think it's the horse, like you said, definite class of the race, and should get a decent pace set up. Not a ton of speed, but a little bit. And number 2, Smarty already stretches out. Should be close to the pace with that inside draw for Wesley Ward and Jimenez, and then the 1 Live It Up. All the same reason. Just missed at this level. Last start is drawing the rail, and those are the 3. You go to those 3.
I think Jimenez or Jimenez, which way do you pronounce that one? Whatever you want.
I used to call Jimenez. Then everybody complained and said I needed to pronounce Jimenez, which is the correct way, except we were down a few weeks ago and he introduced himself to somebody and he said Jimenez.
Now that's funny.
So, and then I've heard him since then talk about there's another kid here named Kevin Jimenez.
Yep.
And he goes, yeah, who's that Kevin Jimenez boy? So he says Jimenez. Maybe he's just adapting to how we say it. But the correct pronunciation is Jimenez.
Well, he was very good last night.
For you?
Not just for me, but I think for the fans, where he sent a couple horses to the lead that on paper had no business being on the lead. And when Franklin decided on Man of Blues to take back for some reason and give no effort at the head of the lane, Jimenez was gone. And it changed the whole early pick 5. And I thought that was an incredible ride by him, because if he does not send that horse to the front, he doesn't win.
No,
and he won drawing off.
I agree. He definitely, and he's one of, we've spoke before, one of our favorite riders here, and there's a couple of guys that we like, a couple of guys we like everywhere, but there's only a couple of guys we only like here, that rides this track very well, and you want to add them into your play. You and I both are class handicappers and trip handicappers, I think, alike, but we do have guys that we give a little more attention to here over this track, and I think he's definitely one of those.
Yeah, you have to, because there's certain guys that really adapt to it. Corrales has definitely adapted to it.
He caught on quick.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's other people that you look down and they're 2 for 50 and 2 for 60, and they're riding horses that are 3 to 2 and 2 to 1, and it's not like they're always on 50 to 1s where you can make an excuse for them. So
new nicknames come every day.
Oh, BB invented a few more. Have you ever heard Kurt Cobain?
I know who.
Do you know who he was talking about?
No.
David Cohen. Now, how he came up with that? He was screaming at the screen today, riding Kurt Cobain, riding Kurt. I'm like, who is he talking about? After race, who are you talking about? He said David Cohen. I said, now how in the world do you get that? But that's his new one.
We probably have to hit. That'd probably be a story for off air, I'd say.
I don't know where he came up with it, but he's got a whole list of them now.
Well, I'll head down there tomorrow early, and I'll get some insight. The insight in race 1 from Dan and I are the 3, 2, and 1. We both have them in the same numerical order. I think that's all you need to get through the pick 5 if you're playing that. If you're playing the exactas and tries, I think you're safe with just those. Race number 2 starts the early pick 4, races 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just 14% takeout on our pick 4s. They're paying very well here. Yeah. And last night, that late pick 4, well, it got hammered because a horse got scratched and they got put on the favorite. So it cost, I think the will pay was like $280 prior to that, and then ended up paying $180, which it was almost, I mean, you could have made it multiple plays on that ticket. But tonight, I think, they'll pay very well again tonight. And as we move on here in this pick 4, how deep are you going in your pick 5? Are the same numbers in the pick 4 is what you'll use as well?
I'm actually going to use 6 of them in here, and I hate using 6 out of 9. It just drives me crazy.
The rule.
I just got burnt today at Gulfstream doing it. Cost me to late pick 5.
You had 8 of 9 a couple weeks ago.
I had 8 of 9 a couple weeks ago. I had 6 out of 9 today. Got beat by a 13-1 shot.
We made the rule, and we don't always stick with it.
Well, so, sometimes you just got a budget, and you don't want to go past it, and it's like,
you can toss this one. You can toss that one.
So like in the second race, I think you can toss the 1, 2, and 3. I'd love to be able to hit the all button, but I think you got to have the 7. I think that's the main one. But it scares me when horses are 4 for 33.
I understand.
And but the post is good. The rider's fine. The
good trainer.
Yeah, the speed figures are good, so I'm good. Yeah, the trainer's fine. So everything says, okay, you got to have the 7. The 4 I'm not that wild about, but knowing that he's probably going to be on the front, it's hard to leave out. So I got to put the 4 in. And then the 6, Kiss My Note. I can't throw out turnbacks. Any horse that's route, it's just hard for me not to use them, even though, the rider is not very good on this surface.
How do you say his name?
Mata,
okay, I
guess. But the 5 here is a horse that I'm putting in that's going to be every bit of 20-1. Warriors March. I like turnbacks. Every time I see a turnback, I got to take them when we're going this distance. So I think the horse fits. I like the trainer. I like the rider. I like the lightweight. That's one of them races where if they all stagger home and I got a horse coming out of a mile, he might be able to keep running. So, and I'm throwing in the 8 and 9 too. So I'm taking a bunch in here. I know that's a lot, but I'm starting 3 times 6, and then I'm pretty short the last 3 legs.
Okay. Well, I want to hear your strong opinions later because I may change and add a few. You'll see on your TV, folks, we're exact same numbers once again, 2 straight races, 7, 4, and 6. All the same reasons he spoke on those 3. Those are the reasons I like those 3 as well. I was just going to use those 3. I may adjust here once I hear your opinion, which I respect. So that's the opening leg of the 50-cent pick 4. Now this second leg, I'm going to spread a little bit. Not real deep, but I am going to use 4 horses in here. And race 3 is a non-3 claimer. It starts a single 6. That was hit multiple tickets last night. There's a small carryover, just a few $100. But the pools on Fridays have been somewhere around 4,000 to 5,000 in that wager, and I expect the same tonight. So you may want to play along there. It's a 20-cent base bet, and I think it's somewhere around $400 the carryover. I'm going to go same numbers again, just different order though.
Different order.
Number 4, Dragon Drew, my top pick. Horses claimed last out for 75, was second beating the length. Probably was the best horse that day. Yeah. Short comment shows awkward start, and did have that indeed, and was full of run late. But that was 5 furlongs, gets a little bit extra distance today. Big change of jockeys, and on the class drop, first off the claim for Ben DeLong, that's the one I'm going to. Number 12, Toothpick. You have to like the horse. 3 or 4 in the money here. Was third last start against Similar.
And now speaking of riders,
well drawn to the outside. Okay.
Is there any way we can get to the jocks room and tell DeLeon?
We're there right now. They have the
don't send this horse. Can we not read the form here? First fades to last. First fades to third. First fades to last. First fades to last.
His win he was 7th to first.
He breaks 9th, sits, and I watched the replay several times.
I can tell you who is. If he's not watching the show, the groom of this horse, I guarantee you 100% he's in his tack room watching.
Sit, go wide, and let this horse. This horse has a short run, right? We've seen it.
Yeah.
Good, solid, fast, about 3 furlongs. Sit. Take him to the outside and let this horse explode down the middle. You're in the 12 hole already. You don't have to move. All you got to do is come down the crown and let him go. If he busts this gate and goes to the lead, I'm going to throw chairs downstairs.
Well, don't be careful. Be careful.
Because I'm only using the 412.
Okay. I'm going to add in the other horse that we both use for third. I'm not happy about going 5.5 and 5 furlongs in one hole is a lot better than.
Yeah, it's not as bad.
The only reason, especially, that I'm using this horse because speed was kind of track was conducive to speed a little bit last night. Miranda loves to ship a horse. He'll ride one entire way if he has to, but he'll ship this horse out and get good, clear position. Now, how much will he have to use him? Maybe a lot. Might have some company, but I think he'll hang around, and if something crazy happens and nobody goes with him, I want to have him on my ticket. If De Leon listens to you and the one has no pressure.
Well, don't the 8 and 9 have to break?
They're supposed to. But.
I mean, the 8 got left in the gate last time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch that replay, came out, just had no chance as soon as they opened the gate. So every other chart is first. I mean, this horse has to gun out.
The 9 show a little speed.
The 9 should show. Yeah, so I think being in the one hole, the 8 and 9 are going to be on the outside. They're going to all go. If I'm riding toothpick, I can fade right into the 4 or 5 spot, pin that 4 in, and then go when I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 4's got to come out and come around me. But, we don't get to run them on paper.
No.
It's not that easy.
No.
We wish it was.
It would be. It'd be a whole lot easier. So you're going to go just 412 in here?
412, yes.
In my pick 6, I think I'm at, let me look it back here in the pick 3. I'm actually using 14912 in there. I'm going to use that 9 horse we talked about because I thought maybe the speed thing again. Off the layoff, Ronnie Hale had a winner last night. So that's going to get me through there. Race number 4 is what we'll talk about next here with 37 minutes to post. I almost singled here. I'm using 2. Is this, how short are you going?
I'm just using 2 of them, the 2 Wesleys. If the 2 was in the 9 hole, it'd be a single.
Single, yeah.
But because of the inside post, I'm a little bit nervous.
I get you.
Just, what if she don't clear them? What if she comes out a little slow? The 3 and 4 both got some speed. The 6 has got a little speed. The 5's got a little speed. The 8's got a little speed. So there is speed in here that I'm just a little nervous. And I don't know anything about the 9.
No.
I mean, the works are decent. I mean, I don't understand the rider. You do get Lasix, but you get the perfect post position.
Yeah, well drawn to the outside.
You're going to be 5 or 6 to 1. Worst case, maybe 3 or 4 to 1. So I'm taking the 2 and the 9 to be safe. I understand on a budget if you just say I have to single the 2 here. I get it. I can't use anybody else in the pick 5. Would you use anybody else
other than the 2 and 9? I may throw in the Colebrook horse. His barn's really hot. Frills, she's the daughter of Candy Ride, and I just think she's into form. She's rounding into form, and his barn's hot with connections. Yep. I mean, she doesn't really have to be on the lead. She'll rate. I think she'll relax. But she's versatile. If nobody goes, say the 2 something happens and it sets up. Albin's going to recognize the pace. We talked about that. So
yeah.
I have to have the leading rider. I have to have a trainer that's hitting it better than 20%. And just because I don't know how to read the form on this 9. I mean, you don't see anything but where they finished in the short
easy,
comment.
could run last.
Yeah. So, but it is Wesley Ward. It is Corey and C.J. Johnson. So good connection. She's well bred and well drawn to the outside. Those are the horses for me. And in race 4, the Stan Otten Memorial, that brings us to race 5. We're going to talk about with 35 minutes to post. Race 5 is the final leg of the pick 5 we're trying to get to, the ending leg of the pick 4, and it starts the late pick 4. And race 5 is sponsored by Ode to Old Turfway. And this race in here is one that I'm interested to hear your opinion.
I'm going to use 3 of them. Pure Sugar's my top one, shipping in from Tampa. Just the whole Tampa, Hawthorne type shipper, dropping. Has the good inside post going a mile, has some speed. Pure Sugar could make the lead and be gone.
Yes, I agree.
So I think you have to have that horse on your ticket. Cora Ann is one that's going to come from way back. The 4, I think fits. That was such a good race last time. These 2 that are both coming out of this race, the 4 and the 7. I bet on the 7 last time and thought that horse was a cinch in there and went right, swooped him, went to the lead.
Looked home. And then
looked home, looked like there's no way this horse can lose. And then all of a sudden, here come this horse like crazy on the outside. So, oh my God, I'm going to get beat. So all of a sudden now they come back together. Maybe one gets a bad trip, another one gets who knows. But I know the 2's going to the lead. I know the 4 and 7 are coming late. I think you lock it up with those 3. So I'm 6 by 3 is 18 by my math. By 2, 36. By 2, 72. By 3 is 216 divided by 2.
108.
108.
That's a good ticket. That's a good ticket. Not, you don't spend a lot of money, and you give yourself many chances.
And if you're a smaller player, you can cut that 6 down to your 3 in a second instead of using all 6, and you're $50. So
I'm going to spread a little bit in here. I like the same 3 horses you'll see on the screen, excuse me, that you talked about, the 2, 4, and 7. The 7 horse, I think, may turn the tables on the 4 tonight. She did have an excuse last start and, needed that race for a reason. And 5-1 on her and 5-1 on Coran. I'm going to go for her. Number 2, same reason you said, Pure Sugar, coming in from Tampa, facing tougher. Class drops for a red-hot barn. He had a winner on the card last night. I'm not crazy about the rider, but it is horse racing, not jockey racing. But I'm going to add in here the 1 and 4 in my pick 4, just because it's pretty short.
One's out.
I'm not adding the 1.
You're not adding
no.
the 1.
So I just cheapened it up. So I'm using the 3 will be the other horse I'll use, just on the class drop. And the rider change is phenomenal for me. And only got beat 3 lengths last start into that 18 race. If Tempestuous Amy was in this race, she'd be 1-9. And didn't get beat, too far by her. So I want to have a price horse in here. I don't think you really have to go anywhere beyond the 3-UR, but I'm adding that horse as well, just because I have it in the budget. And that's the 5th race, start of the late pick 4, ending leg of everything else. Now the 6th race here, we move on to the second leg of the late pick 4. It's an 18-16 claimant event to go 1 mile. And in the 6th race, let me make sure there aren't any scratches in here before I start.
The 2's out.
2's out, yeah.
Yep, 2's out.
I wasn't going to pick that one anyway.
I think this is a match race. What do you think?
Match race?
Oh, you don't think so because you got a horse on top that I mean, I had him 3rd. But
yeah.
Tell me why you like the 4 the best.
Class drop, good barn, huge rider change, and gets a break in weight. I think that last race against Moonover, Montana, obviously the 5 horse coming out of the same race. This one beat that horse 19 lengths and is getting 5 pounds less weight today. I think there is going to be abundance of speed in here. Should set up for the horse, and 3-1. I like it much better than the 5. I'm going to use the 5 as well, though. I don't think Hernandez, when he was here, was really given a complete effort. Seems like horses taking a.
I'm glad you said the same thing because I said that last night to a couple guys that I don't everybody that RM Hernandez is coming off. If you go watch those replays, it was almost like he just didn't feel like being here.
It looks like some of them New York riders, if they're not locked and loaded to the quarter pole, they just gallop them home.
Right.
In my opinion, we talk in here, we put it blunt, we put it honest, we give our opinions, we bet every day, And I think that's going to be a big angle coming forward. We've already seen 2 horses win since then. Hernandez off. We've seen Cannon off earlier in the meet was huge.
Yep.
Dela Cruz was even bigger.
Yep.
He couldn't ride this track. What was he, 1 for 80? And he leaves and like 10 of his horses win in 3 weeks.
Right.
So this is one I'm going to watch. I love the rider change, and
that's why I like the 1 the best. Look who was riding him. He wins with Alan Garcia. They put Hernandez on. Goes off the favorite, turning back. Got him way back, and it was like he took him wide and just didn't even ride him home. And I was like, what is he? He didn't even at nothing. So I think this horse sitting on the rail, mid-pack.
I like the horse too.
With Allen, I think he's going to run big.
He should, and he's stretching back out to a more suitable distance where, he's won twice here at that distance, 4 times in all. I like the horse a lot. I'm going to use those 3, and I wouldn't be surprised if the 1 won, and I wouldn't be surprised if the 5 beat my 4. But those are the only 3 I'm using in the race. The rest of them, I think they'll be way far back.
Yeah, I don't think you can use anybody else. One of them 3 are going to win, and you can get through fairly easy. And they're all rooting at Gulfstream for somebody.
Fans behind us trying to get the 9 home at Gulfstream, and I think they're safe. So,
well, of course, that makes me 4 out of 5 in the pick 5 too.
Well, maybe we can go 5 for 5 here, and
Thank you, Julian.
It's all over. So now we'll move on to the 7th race here after we take a break. So we have 2 races left to talk about. We'll come back and talk about those. But first, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into Turfway Park here for Dollar Friday at the track. Those of you coming in, please be aware that we do have $1 hot dogs, $1 draft beer, and more importantly, $1 win, place, show bets tonight here at Turfway. Also live music from Deviate. They're here in the house. They'll be rocking the stage later on tonight here on Rockin' Friday Dollar Night at Turfway. Just about, 4 of these left here for this meeting. So 27 minutes post for race number 1. We'll kick off the pick 5 with no changes. Race 1 is clear of any changes. Race number 2 started that pick 4. No changes as well. So if you'll turn your programs to race number 3, start of the single 6, small carryover, just shy of $400, I believe, in the single 6 carryover. And there are a couple of scratches. Number 6, Smoke Monster. Scratch number 13, Equal Justice. Be aware, number 14, Roll Call. Draws in, will race. 4th race, the Stan Otten Memorial. Overweight on number 1, Las Ramblas, the rider 2 over. Scratch number 5, That's Great. Overweight on the 6, Shelley's Gym, the rider 2 pounds overweight. 5th race, start of the late 50-cent pick 4. Sponsored by Ode to Old at Turfway. Scratch number 1, Don't Stop Maria. Scratch number 3, Momenta Cat. Jockey change on the 5 to Rogelio Miranda. Rogelio Miranda on the 5, War Eagles Love in the 5th. Race number 6, scratch the 2, Perfectly Majestic. Number 2, Perfectly Majestic, scratch from race 6. 7th race, several changes. Scratch number 7, Capture the Glory. Scratch number 10, Elgar. Scratch the 11, Hemp Hemp Hooray. Scratch the 13, Horse Doctor. Number 7, 10, 11, 13 all scratch from race 7. The 8th and final has a sizable carryover in the Super High 5 wager. That carryover is $11,000, just shy of $11,500. That's a dollar base bet. There are 3 scratches. Scratch the 5, Spinning Undeniably. Scratch the 8, Artemis City Limits. Scratch the 9, Perfect Dancer. 5, 8, 9 all scratched from the 8th. Well, those are the changes at this time. Any additional changes coming in throughout the balance of the program, I'll get those to you as they do so. First post in 4 minutes. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, here for the Odds Couple show. We talked about the first 6 races prior to the program. Now we'll speak on the last 2. And as we move in on to this late pick 4, Dan, 7th race is a than optional claimer, 25 to go 6 furlongs. A lot of scratches in here, but I'm excited about a horse that drew in.
Well, I was wondering what you thought. I did not put that horse in my top 3, but of course will be in the pick 4. I'm probably just going to hit the all button in the pick 4. Because I'm not that deep in the 5th, I'm not that deep in the 6th, and I got a single in the last. So this is probably the race I'm going to go ahead and try to catch a price. Strong ends, my opinion. I don't usually like horses jumping up in class like this, but he's just wins so easy the last 2 times. Beat a good, solid U.S. Marshal last time. I thought that was a solid race. Doesn't need the lead, but might get it anyway. And I just don't think – I mean, maybe the 14 can come run me down, the 2 could come run me down, the 8 could come run me down, and I'm going to take all those in a pick 4. Right. But I if I get anywhere near 5 or 6 to 1 on strong end, I'm going to bet straight because speed's just been good here lately, and there's no speed in here that can run with this horse early.
Yeah, I understand using that horse. 2-time winner off being claimed, and he was impressive the last couple of starts in there. A couple of horses I'll talk about also. 14 Leo did draw in off the also, And this one won a non-3 allowance last start. Pretty decent field, and it's going to need some pace up top. It will come running late, but definitely on that first poly track did impress me a little bit. That was a kind of solid field. Sippy jams this one in for the quarter here. Now he's 3 for 30 in the win column, but I think he will be on your ticket with 7 places and 7 thirds. Of course, bred by Alan Roberts. Now, second number 4, Tale of Fame, is one I'll use in here as well. This one ran a monster race last start in that first level allowance race, stepping up, likes the track. 9-2 is one I'm going to use, and then the 12, I'm going to add him as well. Of course, you're using all button. I'm spreading a little bit myself.
You could tell how tough the race is.
When
we got 6 different horses on the board.
Yeah.
That tells you, I mean, it's one of those races.
Yeah, 10 Parade Blue. I mean, he figures he only going to beat 2 lengths last start to a pretty solid field. So, like you said, you can make a case for a lot of them. It strictly depends on, it's going to be a tactical, whoever rides the best race and whoever it just sets up perfectly for. We're going to spread out in there, Dan. And then the last race, are you singling the Darren Miller?
Yeah, I mean,
you have to. That takes us to race 8. Maiden claimers 30 to 20 going a mile. I hope there's 3-1, because then I think it's not only the most logical winner, it's going to be the best bet on the card. We do have a scratch of the 5, so we lose
5, 8, and 9.
Yeah, we lose a lot of points with the 6-1, 4-1, and 12-1. So we're going to get nowhere 3-1 on English Challenge now with those out. It's probably going to be closer to 4-5, I'd say.
I just want an honest effort, sit mid-pack, blast home on the outside, and I think this horse will win for fun.
Should.
It's so hard to wait till 9:45 Eastern time.
For your single.
So, I'm going to probably bet on the 1 and the 6th race. I'll key off of him a little bit. I'll key off the 2 and the 9 and the 4th race a little bit. And then, hopefully you're not way down by the last race and trying to get all your money back on a horse that's going to probably be even money. So I'm hoping I got to pick 4 alive several times, got to pick 3 alive several times, and I won't even have to bet. But English Challenge to me is one of them plays where I don't know how Franklin could get this horse beat, but it's been known to happen at Turfway.
Strange things happen. I think I agree with you. There's several ways a horse can lose, obviously many ways, but a lot of things would have to happen for this one to get beat. English Challenge, son of English Channel. 3rd beaten 10 lengths to a really good field and all out. The horse that was 2nd, Made in America from the Colebrook barn, came back and romped.
Yep.
And, off paper, there's nothing can get within 10 lengths of this horse.
No, I mean, the first timer I'm not afraid of. The 10, the 11 don't look like anything. The 4, I guess, is a straight maiden, could drop and blow up the board, I guess. The 1, I guess, could go to the lead and get loose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't see anything.
You don't play him very often. But if you're ever going to play a high 5, this is the race to play. We have $11,500 carryover.
Okay.
You have 3 scratches.
So we got 6 with who?
So we're down to 8 horses. You have a free space on top.
Right.
You have to use some of your budget tonight. Like I said, hopefully you're winning all day long. You can come to here. I don't know that you have to throw a bunch of money at it to hit it. If you want to wheel the 6, go ahead. But, so it's 8 times.
Who do you think 2nd and 3rd?
I'm probably going to use the 1, 2, 4 for 2nd, and then I'm going to buy the other 3 ends.
So that would be times 6, times 5, times 4, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, that's not that horrible.
No.
That's for sure.
For $11,500, I mean,
you're cutting it to an exacta.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I mean, if you're ever going to hit it, every night, our last race, full field, every night. A lot of times it's, race is really hard. Last night maybe was hittable if somebody played it. I put together a ticket looking at it. It was $108, and I sat in my hands, and it hit. And so...
Nothing worse than that.
Huh?
There's nothing worse than that.
No, and I'm playing it tonight. I'm gonna make sure I keep Rat Hole a little bit of money, and I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play the ticket I just gave out. If I can win early and have a sizable bankroll, I'm putting him on top and all button in the other 4 legs.
I could see it.
So,
I'm playing the last leg the same way. You just free square there, and if this horse gets beat, watch some TV and go to bed.
Well, hopefully we're flush when it comes to this 8th and final, so we can take a stab and
Get ready
take
for
that.
the Fountain of Youth. Who you like in that one?
I'm a big fan of Dennis's moment. How about you?
I'm using him, but I'm also going to use the Pletcher on the fence.
I like that.
I think one of those two will win. What about the Saudi Cup?
I don't know. Ma?
I think it's all about the service horse, Maximum Security.
Okay.
Is he ready?
I don't know.
If
I don't
he's
know.
ready,
It's gonna be a good
he's going to
race.
be in front. He's going to have 2 Bafferts behind him when they turn for home. Can he keep running, or will one of the Bafferts run by him?
Or maybe he'll bump into a couple of them.
Well, yeah, he could wipe out a few of them.
So I don't know. It's a good race, and it's what, $20 million.
$20 million.
So it's
a lot of
going to be
money.
an exciting race coming up. Like you said, Fountain of Youth tomorrow coming up. Also coming up on March 14th is the Jeff Ruby Stakes Day. If you have not purchased your tickets, you'll want to do that as soon as possible. They're going very quickly. And several options still remain throughout this building. And, we've heard this building is coming down. Those of you like you and I have been here since we were kids. Sentimental, I want to be here for that. I'm going to be here.
Absolutely.
For that day. You're going to be here. We want you to be here. So get those tickets as quick as possible here. Jeff Ruby Stakes Day. That's our local 3-year-old prep to the Kentucky Derby. It is a Kentucky Derby points race. And talking to the racing secretary's staff, the stakes coordinator rather, today, he's expecting all of those stakes to be some very competitive races.
Well, good.
We've already talked about how good a handicapping card that's going to be that day. And so that's coming up on March 14th, 1:10 p.m. post. You'll want to get your tickets now if you don't have them. And you have anything else?
That's it. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Deviates in the house tonight, rocking the stage. Dollar beers, dollar dogs, dollar bets. 15 minutes to post. The horses are making their way into the paddock. Good luck tonight.